So I've been watching a lot of shows, right? And recently I've been doing a lot of crime shows, especially the old ones, because I'm a young lad, all right? So I was watching The Sopranos, finished that, and the next show I was going to watch is The Wire, another old-ass show that's just crime, right? And it really got me thinking, what did I used to watch as a kid? And so I did a little brainstorming, and bam, today we got top 10 shows I watched as a kid. And we're going to start off at number 10 with probably the most obscure one on the list, Word Girl.
Who the fuck is Giga?
Word Girl is one whack-ass fucking kid show. Basically, she's a superhero who's like super strong and shit, but she also has like a massive vocabulary. So the whole time she's beating up these goofy-ass villains like the Butcher, Dr. Two Brains, who has like a rat brain on his head, Chuck the literal sandwich, and she's not just beating them, she's like schooling their wretched-ass vocab.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better!
And it's entertaining enough to be cool. She also has this like sidekick monkey that I don't remember his name or what he does, but he's pretty chill too. And as obscure as the show is, it wasn't even that bad because it's superheroes and learning, so I fuck with it. It's gonna go on number 10 on this list because I just could not put it on here. Moving on to number 9, we have the OG show, The Magic Fucking School Bus. Now this show went incredibly hard. We had so many DVDs of these as a kid and we would just watch the shit out of them. I mean, they go into Ralphie's body. They go to like the center of the earth. They go to like Pluto, and they go to like all the way under the water. It's dope as shit in a fucking bus. And Miss Frizzle is just based as shit, like that robot thing where like the robots attack, and she's just chilling. She don't give a fuck about the students. They could all get murdered by Ralphie Bot, and she'd be like, well, what am I gonna tell the parents?
Fucking die!
Time while this goofy shit is going on, she's teaching us about science, biology with Arnold's body, how it breaks down food. We're learning about what's in the earth, like resources and shit, planets. Arnold, don't take your fucking helmet off on Pluto.
You stupid n***!
But honestly, just amazing show. Love that shit to death. Miss Frizzle could also definitely get it. At number 8, we have a bit of another weird show called Cyber Chase. Now this show was fucking weird, and I don't even know I liked it. A lot of the learning side of things wasn't as cool as like Magic School Bus. It was basically like problem solving with like basic ass math and just general like science and wellness knowledge. But the setting of it was like what had to have grasped me, because they would transport from like the real world into this digital world like it's an isekai anime, and the villain was this guy literally just called Hacker because he would try to hack other worlds and just take them over, basically wanting to be like Doofenshmirtz. And apparently I wasn't the only kid that liked this because it has 13 seasons. That is so many for a show I didn't even think was that good. But just their creativity in creating whole worlds, goofy ass characters, and these amazing situations to just teach us little things that we wouldn't even think about. The bird Digit is also voiced by Gilbert Godfrey.
Your burger makes for a better fleshlight.
Rip my boy, but he just has an amazing voice. Most of the obscure ones are out of the way, so let's hop into number 7 with Wild Kratts. And this is a quintessential show to watch because it's animals in a dope ass fucking way. Basically, they take like animal DNA and they put it into these mech suits to transform and have like the animal power to like save the day. And so they're teaching you all about animals, like the platypus, its sixth sense through its like beak thing. And it's just dope as shit. The villains are cool, like nerdy ass emo Vector, the guy who's trying to capture it, who's like an exotic hunter. It's just a sick show, and they even take on like current things that are troubling environmental issues. They did like Asian ash borers and like what we can do to kind of prevent them and stop them and how they're going to affect us. And they even went back in time to see extinct animals like the dodo bird to warn us kids like things can just disappear. And to me that's really crazy. I mean, it's Martin and Chris Kratt, so they're real fucking guys just doing the show for kids to like learn about animals. And I would watch this anytime it was on because it was a dope show. Definitely deserves to be on the list here. At number 6, we have Curious George. And Curious George is one of the best like early kid shows to watch because you know what it's about? It's about just being a kid. Curious George is a fucking monkey, and yet he acts like us. He does stupid shit, he fucks around and finds out, and yet he has the man in the yellow hat to care. Because the man in the yellow hat is like the parent we all need. I definitely climbed some trees and couldn't get down and learned, hey, if you can't fucking get down from the tree, you probably shouldn't climb that high. And of course, my parents were there to tell me that because I had that in my life, and I hope everyone else did. But I hope at least in some way you had a man in the yellow hat to help you learn lessons so you don't become like a hopeless crack addict who still doesn't know right from wrong even though they're fucking 30 years old. And now we've reached the top 5, and this shit is about to get way more serious because we're starting it off with Star Wars The Clone Wars. And this is 7 seasons of just brilliant Star Wars fucking writing. I don't even think you'd have to like Star Wars that much to just get into this shit because it is just fucking clones versus droids, Jedi versus Sith, just all the way through. And it just builds Anakin as this like likable character who you don't want to know becomes Darth Vader. I don't know if I'd go as far to say it's the best like Star Wars media out there, but it is definitely the best Star Wars show I've ever seen. Just all 7 seasons are great and play out to what we have now and what we had before with the films. If you're an avid Star Wars lover and you see the new shit and just cry and you haven't seen this, watch it. It is brilliant and will like take your attention immediately because they just get right into the war and I have nothing like bad to say about it. Besides like the spin-off shows like the Bad Batch, those are kind of... Coming in at number 4, we have Arthur. Real ones watched Arthur growing up because it like started airing before I was even born, years before. And then just now in 2022, it aired its final season, number 25. Like, holy fuck. And it also has books and shit. And this show was amazing, to say the least. As children, we were showed how to deal with, like, childhood trauma, challenges, like, fucking getting bullied even, like, stuff that was hardcore. I even remember an episode where, like, Buster's dad comes back because him and his mom are divorced and they, like, deal with that. It's honestly one of the best, like, non-action kids shows that, like, you can watch. And that puts us in the top 3 shows I watched as a kid. And number 3 is Phineas and Ferb. And I hate motherfuckers that would complain. Phineas and Ferb is the same thing every time. Candace complains to mom. Mom never finds out, blah, blah, blah. It literally doesn't matter when you have Dr. Doofenshmirtz, Perry the Platypus, Phineas and Ferb just building whatever the fuck their brains could just cook the shit up. And even the bully kid, the Indian kid, and then like the little love thing going on. The show truly just did like whatever child imagination could like think of. It is insane what they were able to capture from that show. And of course, the whole time, even though it is stupid, like, oh, their parents never find out, blah, 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 it's funny that way. Even today, I'd probably still get a kick out of some of the bullshit, like the summer school thing, where they go to like the Smile Away reformatory school. I mean, that episode was hilarious and was actually different from the norm. The writers on Phineas and Ferb went insane for this show, and I don't think there'll ever be one like it again. And at number 2, we get to Johnny Test. And the only reason Johnny Test beats Phineas and Ferb is because this show was just deranged. I mean, Johnny and Dookie the dog would just do the most fucked up things with Susan and Mary because all he had to do was play like the victim card or promise something and just lie, and then they would literally experiment on him to like make him a superhero or some shit. And then you take the deranged nature of Johnny and then you throw in the goofy ass character of Bling Bling Boy, who was trying to rizz up his sisters the whole time even though he looks like a fucking oaf. Bling Bling Boy is literally like the modern depiction of a redditor, and he acts like one too, a fucking incel who can't get any riz. I think this show could definitely get topped by something more deranged and like character based, but it just hasn't happened yet, so it just had to get on this list because I fucking loved just how insane this show was. That leaves just the one spot of the Slop 10 today, the winner being the only Disney show I ever watched, Lab Rats. And the reason this show gets to be the winner is because this show is legitimately funny. I mean, you had Davenport, who was literally some self-absorbed asshole who didn't give a fuck about anything except what he had done. And then you throw in Leo just causing trouble because he's fucking retarded, literally loses an arm and ends up getting a robotic arm that makes these things even worse. And you got Adam, who's just stupid as shit, breaks the fuck out of half of everything and gets trapped like you wouldn't fucking believe. And then everyone makes fun of Chase because he's nerdy as shit. And even when he turns into Spike, he's still goddamn goober. The worst character of the show is probably Bree because she really did nothing and wasn't funny. And that to me was the whole point of the show, just having funny characters. And that's not even to mention Naruto's dub voice actor, Principal Perry, who was somehow even more fucking wretched than Davenport. She's the principal and was just terrible. Talking about how like the food was made from like horse meat. They're too cheap to give a shit about anything. It's honestly an amazing show, and I bet if like you looked up like funny moments from Lab Rats, you might laugh. And that is insane because like as long as you're not fucking 12, it should be hard to laugh at a kid show. But this show just had the stupidest humor built off these characters that for some reason were just built as assholes, and being an asshole is funny. And that's going to be all for today of the Slop 10. Make sure to take care of yourself so you don't get shrunken down and thrown off the Grand Canyon, and I'll see you in the next one. You can clap now.